They decided on the green light.
Yeah.
Management didn't think it was such a good idea.
Yeah. So it gets the green light.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen here, and it's going to be this surprise secret show for the Coalition of Independent Record Store people that were here in Seattle. You were hosting this.
Yeah. This 200 of us.
This brainstorming gathering of stores.
But it was a surprise show.
Yeah.
No one knew that there was going to be a band playing necessarily. They just thought it was going to be, free beer and listen to some new music, new releases, and check out the store for the first time.
Yeah. So right about here, we're in the Sonic Youth section. This is about where the front of the house would have been, or the front of the stage where Eddie would have been singing from.
Yeah. All this was, we took all this out and we brought in a stage, and everyone arrives. We bring everybody out on I think it was 3 buses. They pull up, they arrive, we got a bartender going, we're playing some great music, but everyone sees all these, cabinets and and a stage and curtains, and
they didn't know what was.
And one guy, I'm watching him. He was from, ironically enough, from Lou's Records in San Diego, and he lifts up the curtain and he sees Pearl Jam's stencil.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I see him doing all this and talking to people,
and everybody's perked
and
up.
I run upstairs. This was all closed off, the vinyl section upstairs. I run upstairs. I see Mike McCready with a flashlight in his mouth, going through records, and
that is so awesome.
The
That's
band's
a
hanging out
collector.
with their friends and family, but nobody knows that they're upstairs. And I said, hey, we might need to get this going because I think someone has figured this out. And so I said to Eddie, I'm going to do a little intro, and this is kind of what I'm going to say, and I'm going on all these great things about the band. I'm trying to keep it, under a minute before I do the intro. And he says, "Oh no, crap!" And he takes a red pen. He starts crossing everything on. So I walk up and I basically just say, "Welcome everybody to beautiful West Seattle. You're at Easy Street Records. I bring you Stone, Jeff, Matt, Mike, and Eddie." And they come down, and the whole, 200 people are like, what is happening? And Ed just gets up and goes, I really thought Matt would have said a lot more about about what we've done here, not just for his store, but for, what we've accomplished with all the records we've sold. And then it was a barnstorming set, and that is what's made this release so legendary, is because it was a ripping set. And John Doe happened to be here, and they do New World together.
Yep.
Cameron Crowe was in the audience, Nancy Wilson was in the audience, Jim James was in the audience. And I'm sorry, I didn't know you as well as I did.
So Matt, day of show, it had to be pretty disruptive. You had to clear the whole store, basically, right? Mm-hmm. So you shut down the store. Is that what happened? They roll up with this giant semi?
Shut down the store, and my staff thinks that we're just changing out our bins.
So you couldn't even tell your staff what was going on?
No.
Wow.
So they think we're just changing out the bins, and that there's going to be a party later for everyone that's helping out. And hopefully you got the note, and you'll get some free beer, and there might be a band that's going to play, and we'll have fun after we do all this sweat labor.
Yeah, amazing surprise. So, but you had to sound check and all that, right?
Right.
And so you set up a stage, you set up a PA.
Yeah, but we didn't bring the buses out until after sound check.
Okay.
And it was at that point that some of the staff knew, what was going to happen tonight.
So what time of the day was the band in here, like sound checking?
It would have probably been about 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Did they run through was it a long sound check?
A friend of mine has the bootleg of the sound check.
Yeah.
I've heard it. Yeah, that it was. They basically were just practicing. They were playing some new songs because the Avocado record was soon to come out. So they were in between you know, they had some new songs like Marker in the Sand, Parachutes. I think they were working on some of that stuff at that time. So they were kind of, it was really just like a rehearsal.
Yeah. And did you know that it was going to be recorded?
No.
Yeah.
No. This was all just about doing a surprise in-store. You know, just like they surprised me with releasing this on vinyl, I mean, I found out like everybody else did when the list came out.
So tell me about what you were expecting. Were you expecting kind of a stripped down show, like a, you know, MTV Unplugged kind of deal?
I would have probably thought that that's what they would do. However, I've known Mike and Stone since I was a kid, and
they rock.
They don't like necessarily playing Unplugged. That's not who they are.
Yeah.
I think they really got off in a Eddie Haskell kind of way on doing a ripping set in this little store.
Yeah. So they ended up doing like a 16-song set, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like a full show.
Yeah. Apparently some of the songs didn't either make the cut or they didn't come out, or they lost them in the production of them, in the recording of them. But you know, maybe we'll hear some of those songs. Well, I've heard the bootleg of the whole set. I mean, I have it, but
yeah, maybe
some of it's a little rough, and that's why it's limited to just 7 songs.
Yeah. And what was the energy like in the room? And like, I mean, in the pictures, it looks absolutely packed. I mean, it must have been super intense.
Well, it was, yeah, there wasn't a lot of room,
Yeah.
you know, because the stage took up half the store, and then the other half was the crowd. So you had to get 200 people in here, and so like Eddie was saying earlier, it felt like a you know, big show to them.
Were there any security issues? Did people figure it out? And were there crowds outside?
The funniest thing from that night is, you know, I had to be security along with some of my cop friends at times, and they would ask me, "Hey, is this guy okay? He just came out the street." And there were a handful of like merchant friends, and okay, they figured it out. It's fine. I'll find room. So there was a few of those people. But the funniest thing was that there was a couple, and you could, and they're singing along to, I think it was Porch.
Yeah. And
they're like, "God, that is the greatest Pearl Jam cover band I've ever heard. What's going on in there?"
Oh my God, that's so awesome. That makes sense. I mean, who
and
would
then the next day,
it?
that's what the rumor was it wasn't that Pearl Jam played. There was this great cover band, Pearl Jam cover band that played at East Street last night.
Well, amazing that Pearl Jam did that and wanted to show their support for independent record stores.
Yeah, never forgotten. Started something very special.
Okay, the record comes out on vinyl for the first time on Record Store Day. Matt has not seen the record yet. I know the shipment's sitting right over there, so we're going to check out the record and blow Matt's mind. All right, I'm sitting on a massive pile of Pearl Jam live at Easy Street. This is on vinyl for the very first time. Matt, you got to check this out. Matt has not seen this yet.
All right. I've been waiting 14 years for this. Wow, they went gatefold. Crazy.
They went gatefold.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh, look at it, man. That is a thing of beauty. Pearl Jam don't mess around.
Yeah. I gotta take the whole cellophane off. Usually I like to keep my cellophane on, but ooh,
feeling that.
The texture of that. Who did this? Stoughton. Okay. That makes sense. I love the badge they did too. Classy. Okay. Crazy. Wow. Damn. Welcome to West Seattle. That's what people saw when they drove up in the buses.
And that's what they saw when they were in here.
And this was sound check. And Nobody in there.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And my friend Heidi Barrick had just a week before done all these paintings. And Ed and Jeff were so mesmerized by what she had accomplished with all this. Brian Eno and Elliott Smith and Dylan and Strummer and Leonard Cohen, John Coltrane. She got hired on the spot that night to do their merch for the next tour, for the Avocado tour, and did all their buttons and some t-shirts. So let's see what the... I hope Matt Lucan was here that night. I mean, that was the second song in. American and Me is the Avengers song.
That's a great version of that.
Yeah, this is just a ripping set. I talked to Ed after the show, and he's like, "Man, this is one of the most nervous shows we've ever done because we got all these record store guys. We're just gonna have to rip through this. I mean, it's gonna be fast." And it was more like a punk rock show.
Yeah.
Okay. Lead for Me, New World with John Doe, and there's Porch.
Yep. Congrats, man. How's that feel? Like 14 years. It's on vinyl.
Spin the black circle.
It's beautiful.
It smells good too.